this up. So there we go, season review. What I'll do now is I will go over some stats that I found over the season, and then I'll hand it over to you two to basically talk about moments you want to talk, you've thought about, or anything that sticks out to you from these stats or anything. So in the Premier League last year, Liverpool won 24 games. They had 4 losses. They scored 86 goals, conceded 41, and kept 10 clean sheets. They had 790 shots and 277 of them were on target, giving them a shot accuracy of 35%. Of the 86 goals that we scored, 6 of them were penalties. We hit the woodwork 25 times, which again, I think wasn't there one game last year where we constantly hit the woodwork? I can't remember which one it was, but we definitely were hitting the woodwork over and over and over again. That might have been the season before. I'm not too sure, to be fair, to be 100% with you. And then on the defensive side of things, we had 65 yellow cards, 5 red, 100 offsides we had last season as well. How many of them do you reckon were Darwin Núñez?
Darwin
Núñez. And then we did a 349 fouls as well. So that's for the overall team. Going into the top goal scorers and the assists in the Premier... Was this Premier League? Yeah. No, this is all season, actually, I think. So top 5 goal scorers I'll do. We've got Salah, 32 games, 18 goals. Núñez, 36 games, 11 goals. Jota, and this goes to the point we've just mentioned then, 21 games, 10 goals. So he made less appearances than pretty much everyone else in the top 5, but he's the 3rd highest goal scorer. He was followed by Luis Diaz, 37, 8 goals, and he was joint with Gakpo at 35 games, 8 goals. And then on the assist side of things, we had Salah. We know how many games he just played. I just said it. 10 assists. Núñez, 8 assists. Elliott 6, and then again, joint 4th and 5th, we had Diaz with 5, Gakpo with 5, McAllister with 5, and Trent with 5, which I think is a bit low for Trent. Do you reckon that's due to his new position with that, do you think?
Well, his injury as well. You've got to take that into question there, his injury.
Yeah.
10, I was just looking at Doug there. 10 draws is way too much if you want to win the league. Without a doubt. The amount of goals that we bloody conceded. I mean, the early conceding goals, that was kind of like the story of the season. We concede far too early in the game, or we concede in the game was a guarantee, and then it was kind of like trying to fight an uphill battle after that.
Yeah. It seemed to be always all the time that towards the back end of the season, well, the business end of the season, we were always conceding first. And then it got to the point as well where we'd concede first and I'd be sat there thinking like, we'll be all right, we'll score. But then we got to the game where we didn't score, where we couldn't pull it round, where we couldn't get back in charge of the game. Let me just ask this question here. What's this? Spectre wants to know how many assists that Robbo had. Let's have a look at that one. I didn't actually look at that one. Robbo had 2 assists.
That's dreadful.
Yeah. Robbo had 2 assists, Spectre. But yeah, for me, last season, I would say I'm going to go off like what Colin said here, actually. And this is where I was going to put a lot of my basis of my review of the season around was, given what we had last season, given the players that we lost with the, with the leadership and everything like that, we lost Henderson, we lost Fabinho. As much as Fabinho wasn't too great towards the back end of the season, some people would say he had off the field issues, which I won't go into, but apparently, there was stuff going on behind the scenes, which was affecting his performances. And then you build a whole new midfield around McAllister, Szoboszlai. You throw Endo in there last minute, who didn't have a full preseason. You've got Trent playing this new inverted role, which again, that's them stats there show that affected his game. As much as Trent likes coming to midfield, he was not as productive as he has been normally. Not as many goals, not as many assists. And as you said earlier, then he got injured as well. which Connor Bradley came into and did, wonders for. Actually, now you mentioned that, I want to see how many assists that Bradley got last year, if he's on here.
And Gomez, check Gomez as well, because Gomez was in Robbo's.
So this is just the Premier League. Yeah, this Premier League. So Gomez got 1. Bradley got 3. And he played 11 games compared to Trent playing 28 in the Prem. Yeah, so that just shows the effect that Bradley had compared to what Trent did. So yeah, going back to what I was saying. So I think, if I'm being perfectly honest with you, if you'd have come straight in off last season and said, right, we're going to win the Carabao, we're going to finish 3rd, I'd snap your hand off at that. After the season we had the year before, I think a lot of this stuff that came around with us trying to go for the quad and the title and everything, I think that all started when, not to talk about it again, but when Jurgen Klopp mentioned he was leaving. Because we, as a fan base, was like, right, we've got to go off on a bang now. We've got to go and get as much in as possible. And then when we didn't do it, that's why it seems disappointing. I don't know. That's just kind of where I'm at right with it right now. What about you guys? I'll come to you, Shauna, since you seem to be agreeing.
Well, I think an awful lot can be put down to the announcements that Klopp is leaving, and I think the expectation for any club in the Premier League, especially one of the stature of Liverpool Football Club, is to compete at all levels and to win everything. And that may sound like pie in the sky. That may sound like I'm a glory hunter or whatever. But bear in mind, before Klopp, our expectations were, we hit Champions League and that's it. Qualify for Champions League and that's it. And now our expectations have completely changed. And I think they've always been under Klopp to win everything. So I don't think Klopp's announcement, I think it would have made it extra special, of course, but I don't think it changed anything. I think if you look at what was happening at that time, we had an awful lot of players injured. The players that came on were doing a very, very good run in for us. And then these players were coming back, and then we were putting them back on the team, like the likes of Alisson, the likes of Trent, the likes of Robbo. And, if you look at Gomez was doing well at left back, Kelleher was doing very well, Bradley was doing excellent as well. So I think it was a bit of a transition of these players that have just come back from injury, have come back, and it took them a while to kind of get back into the game. And I think that's where the slump went. But I don't think it had anything to do with Klopp and the announcement of him leaving. I really don't.
Yeah, I'll bring you in, Bri. What's your first open thoughts of the season last year? Like, what do you think?
The way the season ended, I'm happy with Champions League spot and winning the cup. We've got to be happy with that. I think we got ourselves into a position though where we could have won more. I think, I love Klopp. I think he got it wrong against Man United in the cup. He took off Salah and all that early. It just invited pressure onto us. I think we was running that game. We missed loads of chances. But we got ourselves into that position, didn't we, where we was top of the table. He was, I don't think we should be losing to Atlanta personally over 2 legs.
Agreed.
And the same with Man United. I mean, we were by far the better team. I want to go back to the defence, which we were talking about this now. I think it would have been a different story if Matip was playing alongside Van Dijk, because he's got the experience. We were conceding a lot of goals first, but we didn't have the experience. We had Van Dijk, and then there was a mix-up then between Kwanzaa, Gomez, and what's the French boy's name? His name. But
Bradley?
we never had no, not Bradley, the French guy. Starts with a K.
Kanate,
yeah.
We never had a settled back four. It was always somebody who was injured. But I think if if Matip was there, somebody with experience, him and Van Dijk would have been, I pretty much think, impenetrable. I thought they worked together fantastically well. And that's why I think we do need somebody with a bit more experience coming in at the back, because we've lost a bit of experience in that squad, especially with Milner going, Henderson going, Matip's gone now, Thiago's gone now. It's okay having a young squad, but you've got to have the experience there to pull you through,
Yeah.
But no, I'm happy with the cup, and I'm happy with third place finish. I think we could have done a little bit better though, for Jurgen.
Yeah, I agree. I think that FA Cup it was the FA Cup when we lost against United, wasn't it? Like, I feel like, that was the one. Like, I think we could have ended the season with the FA Cup in the Carabao, 100%. I get what you say about Atlanta. They just absolutely smashed us at Anfield. Like, and then they did the same to Leverkusen as well. A team that's gone all season unbeaten, and then they lose in the Europa League final. Like, he must be doing something good. That manager over there, is it Gasparini or something like that? I remember after that game, when it must have been the Anfield one, and there was a journalist who deals a lot with Italian football, and he was mentioning like that Gasparini, like he finds it strange how he doesn't get linked with the big jobs, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, I personally do think, I know you don't agree, but like that the whole, we get the disappointment from just us trying so hard for Jurgen, and then we fail, and then that's what, I don't know. Do you? All right, ask you two now then. So, do you guys think that the ending of the season was a bit of a downer, apart from obviously using Jurgen? Do you think coming third and the Carabao is a disappointment?
You go first, don't
Yeah, I mean, of course, I think it's a disappointment. I mean, anything other than a win, but I mean, you have to put it into context, and that's that. And what Brandon was saying, aka Mighty Reds '97, after selling, the midfield, rebuilding the midfield, to get a trophy and to get third, and a few decisions here and there, a few results here and there, nipped to the post. Fair enough. We had third. There was no way that we were going to, miss out in third spot. We just weren't. So I don't think it was a failure. I think it was. I think with the amount of work that we put in last summer, I mean, we have something to build on. Are we disappointed? Yes, but I don't think it was a failure.
Yeah. What about you, Bray?
No, I don't think it's a failure. I mean, in theory, we've had a better season than Arsenal because we've walked away with the cup.
Yeah, that's true.
But what I would say is, it's like, considering we set Klopp and Liverpool Football Club set standards, and those standards are Champions League, Premier League, and like a third place finish and a Carling Cup is probably the least I expect from Liverpool Football because of the standards we've set.
Yeah, I get that. Like, but I just think going off of how last season was just so appalling. Well, yeah, well, not coming in the top four with that team and everything like that, and then the rebuild you have to do. I do think coming in and finishing third, getting a Carabao, it's not a failure at all. I do think that it's good, and I just think kind of we'd probably just build it up a little bit for the whole Jurgen thing.
Well, I mean, considering that Man United are already now calling Ten Hag an absolute tactician genius because they won the FA Cup and got, what, 6th or 7th or 8th, and now they're saying that they've had a better season than Liverpool. I think you look at the expectations on their end and the expectations at our end, and it's good to want more. That's what, a competitive team should be looking at, especially at the stature of Liverpool. I want to just put one comment here, and I can't for the life of me understand why this has not become a thing. There's fantastic chance for each and every player, but there's one chance. There's no chance there for for Kwanzaa,
Mm.
and I think it would there would be a great song, right, for Kwanzaa, and it's "Tell me when will you be mine." Kwanzaa, 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 Kwanzaa. Come on, lads. I just think that would be, you know.
Chat, what do you think about that? Is that the new Kwanzaa chant we're going to be hearing around Anfield?
I have to just get a delivery, lads. Bear with me for one moment.
Yeah, no bother. I hope he's put himself on mute. Yeah, he has.
Yeah,
Again,
it's just over the past couple of years we set high standards for ourselves. I expected Liverpool to win Europa Cup. That's what I expected, because we should be winning that. You know.
Yeah, I think when you look at the beginning of the season, I think everyone put Liverpool as like the favourite to win that straight away. Yeah,
it's to me, like, no disrespect to the Europa Cup, like, but it's not Champions League, you know.
No.
But I expected us to win it because it's the cup. You know, even before Jurgen announced he was leaving, I wanted us to go for everything, because we are Liverpool Football Club and that's the standards we set. You know, I think we walked away with a trophy. We finished in the top four, which is bare minimum. That's what I expect from Slot this year. You know, top four, cup run.
So you're well. We'll leave that for later on, actually, because we've got that to cover on a bit later. But yeah, I'm kind of in a similar mindset to you in regards to that. What about, I guess, with the whole Kwanzaa thing? As a season review, I think it's good to see how many kids actually came on and did well this year. Like, there's been times, especially under Brendan Rodgers, when he'd start playing players that I'd never heard of, and like we had people that were building up like Suso or Pacheco, and they didn't really do much. I think Suso was up. I'm not gonna lie, no, he was all right for the time because of what we had, but he wouldn't get into the Jurgen Klopp team now. But some of these players that have come through this year, like Bobby Clark, Connor Bradley, Kwanzaa, is it McKennell? He played DM, I think, in that Carabao Cup final. I almost said Champions League final then. In the Carabao Cup final, he played in midfield there. Kelleher, like, I know he's probably one of the older ones, but I do think, you know, we missed Alisson for a fair amount of games, and you know, he showed again that he is probably the best backup goalkeeper in the Premier League, and I would hate to think that we're going to probably maybe lose him this summer.
Yeah.
But yeah, what about the youngsters, Bro? What do you think about that?
I mean, look, we said, you know, we've praised Liverpool for rebuilding the midfield, but you know, we've got to remember half of that midfield and half of our new signings were out for half the season, and the youngsters really did step up. You know, so you know, I thought they didn't look out of place. You know, Kwanzaa, he looks better and better every game he plays. Like Connor Bradley, I was like kind of missing him when trying to come back. You know, his energy, and yeah, I think we've got a bright future ahead of us, and I hope Slot can keep these youngsters in the squad and keep progressing them. You know.
Yeah, like for me, Kwanzaa, he was a mix. For me, I like when he first came on, I thought he was just like Joel Matip at the way he came out of defence with ball and everything like that. I thought, all right, you've been watching Matip play a fair bit, you mate. But then
his comment though about Matip being injured, I thought was like, listen, I'm not going to pretend that I'm not happy. Obviously, I'm sad to see Matip injured, but now it's my opportunity.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh no. That's what you play, isn't it? You want that cockiness, you want that belief, and it shows how confident he is in his ability, you know?
Yeah. But then, as I was going to say, like Kwanzaa for me, he was like Matip, but then I think there was a Virgil quality to him as well a few times, right, Martin?
This slot. How you doing, boys?
Good, mate. You?
Yeah, not so bad. Just packed all my stuff up because I'm going on the big airplane.
No, when you going?
Saturday.
Oh, okay. Bit early, liking it.
I know, but if she had it airway, mate, it'd been done 6 months ago. That's why we weren't allowed to go back to Alicante.
What's your thoughts on the season then, Martin, since you've joined us in this one?
Well, I thought we've done more than what we expected to do, to be honest. If you had said to us at the beginning of the season, like we said last week, if you had told us that we were going to win the cup and finish third with the defense, with that rebuild that we had, I'd have took it.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I started off with. I think with a rebuild and everything like, I think it just how many other teams in the Premier League have rebuilt their entire midfield and then still had the sort of success that we had? Like, I don't think you can think of another team that did that, to be fair. And then all the youngsters as well that came on and played as well, especially in the Carabao Cup final. Me and Bri were just talking about that then, when you had, like Bobby Clark coming on and McConnell coming on, Kwanzaa playing, Kelleher in net.
Jayden Dans as well.
Jayden Dans scoring his first. Did he score a Premier League goal or Carabao Cup goal? I can't remember if it was. He scored a really, really good goal though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So again, like, we've got this depth in youth in our team, and it's good to see. I've not seen that in my lifetime, to be fair. Like I was saying, right, we had Suso and Pacheco, and they were just both pants, to be fair.
We need to tie Kelly now. Got to, no matter what. You've got to keep him.
I think he'll go though for more first team
football.
I really do.
I think if he goes, he's going to end up somewhere like a Villa or a Celta Vigo or somewhere like that. You know,
you think Caoimhín Kelleher is going to end up in where?
I don't know. It's somewhere where he's going to get first team.
Well, I mean, I think he's world class.
Celtic are looking for a new keeper now. Joe Hart's gone, aren't he? So is he going to go up there?
That was the one I was going to say. Celtic. Yeah. Apparently, Celtic have been sniffing about him.
Gosh, Celtic.
Who wants to go to Celtic or to the SPL? Sweet Jesus! Like,
how much is he worth? You know,
he's going to be worth about 18 million now.
I would
Kelleher 18 million.
Yeah.
I think you get about 30 from me, if not a bit more.
Yeah, you could do, but if someone slapped 18 million on the table, then owners that we shall not talk of will take it.
According to Transfer Market, his current value is 20 million euros. I don't know what that is in pounds, probably about 15, 18
Kelleher.
18 million pound.
Kelleher.
Yeah.
No.
Hey, Sean, have you got access there to the car? You don't pay for access,
I'm actually I'm in the cop here. Live on Adam Naylor.
So anyway, what you were going on about before, Adam, I think we've overachieved this year. Yeah, we've got so far in the league. We slipped off because of them dirty Manx who lived down the road. But if you'd have given me that at the end of the beginning of the season, I'd snapped your hand off for him, out 100%.
Yeah,
it's just that because we slipped off at the end of the season, people were like, "Wow, we could have won the quad there," but realistically, were we going to win it? No, possibly, but no chance.
No.
That's a good point that Mog said here. Celtic don't have 18 million to spend on a goalkeeper. And Colin says he's worth 30 plus. I think he's worth an awful lot more than that.
Imagine him going to Wrexham on loan.
No. Well, what are you talking about? Caoimhín Kelleher.
Sean, I love just winding you up lately, mate. You body big time.
Jeez. No way.
I would hold on to Caoimhín Kelleher like our life depended on it, because if Allison gets injured, we have to have a good goalkeeper.
Yeah, but the thing is, he's too bad to be a second choice. He's too good to be a second choice. He deserves it.
But Colin, Colin's after making a point. However, if we get 18 plus for Kelleher, that's pure profit. We've got to stop talking about what makes the owners profit. It's at the end of the day, it's a football club. And we hold on to the players that we need to hold on to. Kelleher is very, very important. Like, he's the only goalkeeper in Liverpool history. What's the bloody stat? There's an amazing stat about him that has scored more goals in a penalty shootout or something like that. But Kelleher is amazing, an amazing keeper. And I couldn't care less about the profit we make out of him. If we sell him, I'd hold on to him.
Well, apparently Adrian and potentially Kelleher could leave us. Liverpool have been linked with 2 goalkeepers. I think one of them is it McCarthy at Southampton? He's a free transfer come the end of the season. And then the other one is the Feyenoord goalkeeper, whose name I can't remember right now. I'm gonna have to have a look for it.
I'd go for Alisson's brother.
Don't forget.
You guys talk amongst yourselves while I look for this goalkeeper from Feyenoord.
Brian, we haven't heard
when
from
we're
you.
bringing our Saturday night quiz night over.
What?
I don't know.
Where's this world famous Sean O'Quiz?
My world famous quiz.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Crank the answers.
That's. I think good old Mark Mason it kept winning that. I wasn't going to send out.
I'll get Gemma to be your independent adjudicator.
Yeah.
That the goalkeeper from Feyenoord is Justin Bidgelow, if that's how you pronounce his name. He's been linked with us and been linked with Arsenal as well.
You won't go Arsenal. Yeah, here's a question I got asked the other day, and I heard it also on TalkSport, and it's not about Liverpool. Who's had the better season? Their last two seasons, who's been better? United or Arsenal? Who's had the more successful 2 seasons?
Well,
United
if you're looking at trophies,
2 seasons.
If you're looking at
Would you
trophies, Arsenal, United, isn't it?
United.
But if you're looking at like league position, it's got to be Arsenal.
Yeah,
Is it finishing second in the league or is it winning a cup? No.
True, Bri. True.
Winning a cup is always to me success. We're only saying second and third and fourth are good. Oh, it's fantastic because of the Champions League. But realistic, we want to go for the cups, don't we?
Yeah. Right.
Toby's looking for a new team, so maybe you can get him in again.
Oh, there he is.